Good morning everyone, the time is currently 4:15 AM and I'm in Porto Airport about to check in, go through security and head to Geneva. Geneva, Switzerland is destination number 2 on my 7-day challenge. If you're new here and you haven't watched my previous video, hi, my name's Ellie. I'm visiting 7 European countries in the next 7 days, all chosen by a completely random stranger. So I was in London Gatwick firstly, they chose me to come here to Porto. I did the same yesterday in Porto. I asked a group of strangers to pick my destination for today and they picked Geneva, so that's why I'm heading there today. I'm very excited. Let's go head through security and then head to Geneva. Okay, so it is gate number 22. I'm just heading there now. I think it's a bit of a walk, so gate 22. Let's get on this flight to Geneva. Touchdown in Geneva, Switzerland. It's a bit chilly. That was a super speedy process off the plane and into arrivals. I thought with Switzerland not being in the EU that we'd have to go through passport control, but we didn't, so made it all very, very quick. Now I did some research just before the flight and it said that I can take a train from the airport into the city centre, so I'm just following directions for the train. Then we're going to try and figure out exactly how it works. But apparently it's probably the cheapest way to get into the city centre. There's obviously like buses, taxis, but they said the train is the best option.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I've made it onto the train. I double checked I'm in the right place, I'm on the right train, and I am. Here's my ticket. It cost 3 Swiss francs, which I think is around £3. I think it's about £2.70, and it definitely goes to the centre of Geneva, which is perfect. I don't really know exactly where I'm going, I just want to head into the centre, so I'm going to sit back, relax. I think it's probably about a 15-minute journey in total, which is pretty good. And then the plan of action is to grab some breakfast, sit down, basically plan out the day, have a bit of a plan of action, and then we'll go from there. Okay, we are in the city centre of Geneva. That was super quick. That was literally less than 10 minutes. Ideal. Okay, so let's go and find a cafe, get myself a warm drink, perhaps a pastry, and like I said, plan of action. Let's actually see what there is to do here in Geneva and make a bit of an itinerary. I'm just on the search for a boulangerie, so I just get myself a pastry and a hot drink. Looking at the prices so far in the restaurants, wow. I walked past one place and it was £20 for an omelette, so yeah, expensive. And one thing I haven't actually said yet, it totally makes sense. I did a little Google of how expensive a city Geneva is. It's ranked number 1 as the most expensive city in Europe. So I've pretty much gone from Porto, which is one of the cheapest cities in Europe, to Geneva, which is one of the, well, not one of, it's the most expensive city in Europe. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be very careful today with my spending. I don't know how I'm gonna get around that, but I just need to be very careful because this seems like a place that could hit the bank account pretty hard. Bonjour. Je voudrais un pain au raisin. Sorry. Oui, oui. Et chocolat chaud? Oui, merci. Okay, so the time is currently 10:23. Got myself a pain au raisin and a hot chocolate. Now this cost me, I think it's around £7.50 in total, which yes is quite expensive, but probably no different to what I'd pay in the UK. So yeah, I'm now basically come down to the riverfront. This is beautiful, probably like the main spot, like the postcard image of Geneva. So I'm going to enjoy my pastry, drink my hot chocolate, enjoy the view, and then, like I keep saying, come up with an itinerary for what to do for the rest of the day. Okay, so I've just been spending the last 20 minutes or so sat on this green bench looking out at the view, as well as figuring out which 3 options to put on my Instagram story, the 3 options for the different activities or things I could do here in the city today, which my Instagram followers will decide. So the first one is buy some Swiss chocolate and eat it by the lake. The second one is visit the United Nations building, and the third one is explore the botanical gardens. So I've literally just put that on my Instagram story right now. I'm going to give it an hour like yesterday, and then whichever one has the most amount of votes I will go and do. Okay, so while I wait for the results of the poll, let's go find another stranger to pick my destination for tomorrow. This concept honestly is so much more fun and challenging than I thought it would be, putting myself out there and speaking to strangers. But yeah, it's come around again. It's time, like I said, to find a stranger and ask where I should travel to tomorrow. I was just wondering if you could help. Basically, I'm doing a challenge where for the next 7 days I'm going to 7 different European countries. I'm getting a stranger to pick each destination.
Okay.
Would you like to pick my destination?
You love that stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Does
sure.
that sound okay? So here's all the different options
Okay.
to pick from. And then whichever one you pick, I will go to tomorrow.
Mallorca, by tomorrow. You like that?
Whichever one you'd like me to do.
Right.
The decision is yours.
Okay. I'm gonna go because that's.
Yeah, Nice, France. Amazing.
Right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great
you.
day.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, amazing. So tomorrow morning I'm off to Nice in France. I'm so excited. Honestly, have I been to Nice? I think I went once before. I flew into Nice and explored like the south of France, but I have never actually explored Nice itself. So I'm incredibly excited. This challenge just keeps getting bigger, better and crazier. What I'm going to do now is, I think it's EasyJet is the flight. I'm going to look, see and double check that they've got tickets, book myself a ticket and then have a look, start having a look for accommodation. But yeah, we're going to Nice, France tomorrow. So excited. So I'm just taking a look at the flights now. There is one at 8:45 that gets to Nice at 9:50, or one at 3:50 that gets to Nice at 4:55. So I will take the morning flight. It gives me a little bit of a lie-in, I guess, compared to what I had this morning. So yeah, it gets me into Nice at 9:50. So plenty of time to explore Nice for the rest of the day. So I'm going to book that now. That is, well, it's come up in francs, so it's 77.95. So I think it's around maybe just over £70, not too bad. But yeah, I'm gonna book this now to make sure I've got myself a ticket and yeah, get excited for Nice tomorrow. Geneva has to be one of the prettiest, most beautiful, relaxing places I've ever been. I just sat actually on a bench just before and did a quick meditation, just to sort of, it's been quite hectic so far. I've set myself quite the challenge, so I've been feeling a little bit, not stressed, but just busy. So I thought it'd be nice to do a little meditation, basically by the lake. Yeah, what a place to do it. So yeah, first impressions of Geneva, I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's pretty spenny, it's pretty expensive, but it has been voted the most expensive city in Europe, so yeah, what could I expect? But yeah, so far so good, really, really enjoying it and excited to explore for the rest of the day. Okay, so while I wait for the results of the poll, I wanted to tell you about today's sponsor and the sponsor of this entire challenge, which is Zim Connections. And I'm actually repping the Zim jumper right now here in Geneva. Now, Zim Connections provides eSIMs and voice plans for so many different countries around the world, and it's especially important for me when I'm traveling that I have connectivity to the internet. Just while I've been waiting there, I've been messaging my mum and dad, my family, my friends, sharing what I'm getting up to here in Geneva on my social media. So connectivity is one of the most important things, not only for me personally, but also for my job. Now, you can get 10% off your first eSIM plan with the code 1G10, and I'd personally recommend, if you're going to be traveling to lots of different countries in Europe like I am now, to check out their European plan. So thank you so much to Zim for sponsoring today's video and the entire challenge. Now let's check my Instagram story and see what I'm going to be doing this afternoon here in Geneva. So the results of my Instagram poll are in, and I'm going to now be heading to the botanical gardens here in Geneva. 45%, so the majority of those who voted picked for me to go and explore the botanical gardens, so I'm just headed there now. I think according to my maps I'm about 5 minutes away, but hopefully I don't get lost. I feel like at the moment always a bit of a maze, but I'll find it, I'm sure, at some point. So yeah, I don't know too much about the botanical gardens. I might do a little Google to find out a little bit more, and then I will update you when I get there. Okay, so I have made it to the Conservatoire et Jardin Botanique. How's my French pronunciation there? Not great. Not very good. I'll work on it. So, I guess I'm just gonna walk around and explore. It appears there's like a dome down there where I guess there's like an indoor part, but I mean, yeah, I guess I just walk around. I mean, on the map, I looked on my phone, like it looks absolutely huge, like the whole gardens. Okay, I'm gonna walk around, take it all in. If I notice anything particularly interesting, I'll let you all know. But yeah, this is all just adding to like such a peaceful day and like amazing experience here in Geneva. Like I feel like I needed to come here today. Of all the places I'm going, or like of all the places I could have gone today, Geneva was the best place. Just because, I don't know, like I said, feeling a little bit overwhelmed by, I guess, the challenge and everything that's coming. I just needed to calm down a little bit of peace. So yeah, Geneva, the perfect place. Okay, this is really interesting. Now insert the montage. I'll do a little montage now of the beautiful botanical gardens here in Geneva. This is so nice. There's loads of runners, there's people having picnics. It seems to be like quite busy, to be honest. Wow, great suggestion. Instagram followers, thank you very much for sending me to explore the botanical gardens here in Geneva. So nice. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera down. I'm gonna take it all in, and then I'll update you afterwards with the plan for what I'm going to do basically after the botanical gardens. So I was just sat on the bench that you saw in the previous clip, and this lovely lady came and sat next to me, and we were just chatting about Geneva. She's originally from Brussels, from around near Brussels, and she has moved here to work in a pharmaceutical company, and she was just telling me about all the different places that I need to visit here in Geneva, and she mentioned this greenhouse behind me here that is located inside the botanical gardens. And it is absolutely ginormous. I don't think seeing it on the camera actually does it justice. And there is, oh my goodness, it's like huge like cactuses. Look at this. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can even see, look, cactus. Wow, that is quite interesting, to say the least. I didn't expect there to be like huge, what's plural of cactus, cacti in there. Wow, I mean, yeah, it's absolutely huge, and it's like in the central point of the botanical gardens. But she also told me to go and definitely check out the UN building, and this massive like red chair structure that's like really famous and people want to take loads of photos of it. She also recommended to cross the bridge and go on to the other side of Geneva. So although on my Instagram the poll said for me to come and visit the botanical gardens and not to necessarily visit the UN building, I'm going to do both because why not? And you know what, I'll probably go and get some Swiss chocolate and eat it by the lake after as well. So I'll end up doing all three things that I put on my Instagram poll. But honestly, there's something about this city. Everyone is so friendly. I've talked to loads of people so far and they've all just been so lovely. So yeah, Geneva, I'm definitely coming back here because what a lovely place. Apparently the huge red chair and the UN building is just up here. It's a little bit of a walk, a little bit uphill. I'm getting a bit hungry, so I'm gonna have some lunch after I've been to the red chair and the UN buildings. But yeah, I think I'm a couple of bins away. I don't know, I don't really know what to expect. I'm curious. Okay, so I've made it to the broken chair. Now, just looking at Google, it says it's a monumental sculpture in wood designed by Swiss artist Daniel Basset and constructed by carpenter Louis Geneve. It symbolises opposition to landmines and cluster bombs and acts as a reminder to politicians and diplomats visiting Geneva. So that is, as you can see, the massive red chair. It's hard to put into words like just how big it is. It is huge. Like, I don't know if I can show you a different perspective. Maybe me stood underneath it. Like, that's the bottom of it, and then obviously like it's higher. And then we've got the United Nations building right behind me. I don't know if I'm actually able to go in. I don't think I am. But maybe there's some public parts of it. I'm gonna have a little look. So if I can go to some of the public parts of it, I will. But I'm having a little Google. I have a feeling it's probably all private, but very cool nonetheless to be here at the broken, you can see it's broken there, broken red chair and the United Nations building. I've just done a little Google, and unfortunately you can only go inside the UN buildings if you've booked a tour. So yeah, can't go in today, but it's very cool to even just take a look from the outside. But I'm now going to get a bus, when I'm going to attempt to use the public transport here in Geneva to head back to, like, it's called Mont Blanc, like the main area on this side of Geneva. I'm going to grab some lunch because it's currently 20 to 2, so I'm getting pretty hungry. And then I'm going to make my way onto the other side of Geneva and have a little explore. Okay, so I'm on the tram. I got my ticket, but there's literally no one else on it, and I hope I'm going in the right direction. We'll soon find out. Okay, I've successfully navigated the tram system here in Geneva, and I am back where I started my day, back at the main train station. And I noticed behind me the golden arches, the yellow M, McDonald's. From what I saw earlier in terms of the restaurants here, it's going to be way too expensive for me. So although one of my missions of this whole challenge every day was to try the national dish and drink of each country I'm going to, I think I'm going to have to go to McDonald's for my lunch and hopefully pick up some Swiss chocolate and a Swiss drink, which I'm going to count as my national dish and drink at some point this afternoon. So yeah, next stop, going to try McDonald's here in Switzerland. Okay, so I got myself 2 cheeseburgers and some fries. I know it's not the most traditional Swiss food, but I was starving and I hoped it'd be cheaper here, but I paid £9.50 for 2 cheeseburgers and some chips, which is a lot of money. Like, I could probably get that for about £5-6, well, okay, £6 maybe in the UK. So even McDonald's is so expensive here. Yeah, I better get out of this city pretty quickly, otherwise I think it's going to bankrupt me. I need to be so careful for dinner, but anyway, it's fine. I'm going to enjoy my McDonald's. I'm going to plan a little itinerary on the other side of Geneva and yeah, explore the city a bit more. So the McDonald's, despite it being very expensive, was delicious and much needed. Oh, my map is speaking to me. I'm heading now to my hostel actually. I'm going to try and check in. I was going to go and walk across the other side of Geneva, but I thought if I can check in, I can dump my bag and then I'll head across. I might see if I can get a bus because all this walking, my feet are killing me. But yeah, hopefully I can check in.
60 yards, turn left on Rue Rothschild.
Okay, we're 2 minutes away. Okay, so I'm going to check in, like I said, dump my bag, and then go and explore some more of Geneva. Okay, so I finally found it. Let's head in and see if I can check in. Right, I've got myself back up and out of the hostel because if I stayed any minute longer, I probably would have fallen asleep. That 3:30 a.m. wake up this morning is catching up with me a little bit. But I'm heading to the bus station now, ready to head to the other side of Geneva. I'll stay there for a few hours, which will probably take me more or less to sunset. Grab myself some Swiss chocolate and sit by the lake so I can tick the third thing off. That well, like I said earlier, there were 3 things on the poll. The first one was the botanical gardens, but I also went to the UN building. And of course, I will fulfill the final one. I'll get some Swiss chocolate and eat it by the lake. Okay, so I'm now in the old town of Geneva. I've jumped to the other side of the lake. I'm just heading to Saint-Pierre Cathedral. It's about a 5-minute walk. I'm just going to do like a really mini short tour of the old town here in Geneva. We'll see where it takes me. I've got a few ideas, well, a few places on the map I'd like to visit, but the first one is going to be the cathedral. Goodness me, there's a few hills to get up to this cathedral. Oh my goodness me. It is such a beautiful day there. I've got so lucky with the weather. I don't know what the weather is at this time of year in Geneva, but I feel lucky anyway. It's an absolutely beautiful day and hopefully a really nice sunset as well. Okay, so I've arrived at the Saint-Pierre Cathedral. As you can see behind me, it's absolutely huge. It is ginormous. I love the architecture in this city. Like, I mean, I don't know much about architecture, but I can appreciate when the buildings look pretty cool, and they certainly do here in Geneva. Really like it. I like the old town as well. It gives a very much a different vibe to the other side of the lake where I spent most of my time today in Geneva. So it's been nice to just walk around and explore for the last half an hour or so, just to see a different side of Geneva. So I'm going to keep walking, keep exploring, not have a specific destination in mind, and see where I head to. Okay, let's have a seat. So I've been asked a few times on Instagram, why am I doing this challenge? And I think it's a really interesting question. So I think the main reason I'm doing this challenge is because usually when I travel, I plan such a thorough itinerary and I pretty much stick to it completely, like it's all structured. I know when I go on a trip more or less what I'm doing, and I really want to be a bit more spontaneous with my travelling and just go with the flow a bit more. And this is literally the epitome of, I guess, going with the flow and I guess stepping into the unknown, because I literally do not know where I'll be heading the next day until I ask a stranger to pick the destination. So I think it's really helped me in that respect to be more spontaneous and also just to meet new people, put myself outside my comfort zone. It's certainly not been easy putting myself out there and trying to speak to strangers to basically ask them to pick my destination for the next day. It's obviously quite a crazy, weird kind of thing to ask, and especially in Gatwick, I was so nervous. I'm pretty sure I was like shaking, but each day it's got easier. Today was probably the easiest. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm doing it. Put myself outside my comfort zone. I guess seek discomfort. I love Yes Theory. They're literally my favourite YouTube channel, and that's what they really embody through their videos. So hopefully if anyone watching is like somewhat inspired by what I'm doing to just maybe travel or I don't know, go out and make new friends, speak to strangers, like just, I don't know, basically do whatever you sort of feel like you get any sort of inspiration from what I'm doing, and hopefully me putting myself outside my comfort zone makes you want to do the same. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this concept I'm doing. Maybe it's weird, wonderful, crazy. I'm not too sure, but at the moment it's quite the adventure. That's one way to describe it. I've got a feeling that the sunset is going to be an absolute beauty this evening. Like, look at the sky. It's like more or less clear. It's like it's pretty cloudy that way, but not behind me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back across the bridge, head over to the side of Geneva that I've basically been spending most of the day on. Try and go to a supermarket, find the cheapest chocolate possible, and then sit sort of by the lake and enjoy the sunset. So I've just been to the shops and I've got myself some Swiss chocolate, a Greek salad for dinner, and a typical Swiss drink. It's called a Sinalco. It's basically like a Fanta. And I'm sat where I basically started my time here in Geneva this morning, back by the lake and back with the most incredible view of Mont Blanc and the mountains. It's shaping up to be an amazing sunset. It is truly beautiful. I can't think of many other better places that I have sat to have dinner. Take a look at this. Okay, so it started to get really, really cold, so I'm going to call it a day and head back to my hostel. So that concludes today's video from Geneva, Switzerland. What an incredible day it has been exploring this amazing city. I'd love to come back here again one day and spend more time, more than, what, like 12 hours, I guess. How long have I been here for? A bit short of 12 hours, but it's been a very, very short trip, so I'd love to come back again in the future. But yeah, if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up, comment down below and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow in Nice, France.